LA Clippers versus Phoenix Suns. In the desert heat of Phoenix, the stakes rise beyond the standings. The LA Clippers, 3-4, arrive at the Mortgage Matchup Center with urgency in their step, looking to steady a season that's teetering between promise and pressure. They've lost 2 straight, both in tightly contested battles, and now face a Phoenix Suns, 3-5 team desperate for a spark to avoid slipping further down the Western ladder. This is more than a November game. It's a tone setter for both franchises, still defining who they'll be in 2025-26. The Clippers sit 10th in the Western Conference, a position that doesn't reflect their underlying balance or firepower. Despite their early struggles, their 61% win probability entering this contest speaks volumes about their depth, two-way reliability, and the sheer weight of veteran leadership that anchors their identity. Phoenix, at 12th in the West, has flashed offensive brilliance but faltered in execution and consistency. At home, however, they've been respectable, 3-1, and they'll count on that comfort to offset their overall volatility. The Suns will remember their last meeting vividly, a 129-102 dismantling by the Clippers just 2 weeks ago. That night, LA's efficiency was surgical, every rotation crisp, every drive deliberate. The Clippers punished mismatches, out-rebounded Phoenix, and scored nearly 130 points, setting the tone for this rematch. Both teams know this one could dictate direction. A win could stabilize momentum, while a loss could deepen cracks in early season chemistry. Both sides enter with contrasting identities, built from the stat sheet up. The Clippers' numbers reveal a team built on precision, 111.7 points per game, 48.2% field goal shooting, and a commitment to structure. Their scoring distribution, Leonard, Harden, and Zubac leading a deep supporting cast, creates a balanced offensive rhythm that prioritizes spacing and patience. They rank among the conference's steadier shooting teams, and their 84.1% free throw mark underscores their poise in close games. Phoenix counters with volume and tempo. Averaging 116.9 points, the Suns rely on pace, spacing, and isolation strength to stretch defenses. Their 46.1% field goal rate reflects that aggressive style. Efficient, but volatile. When their rhythm clicks, they overwhelm opponents. When it stutters, defensive lapses magnify. They're also slightly better in ball movement, averaging 27.6 assists to LA's 25.0, showing a willingness to share the ball through quick reversals and perimeter actions. On the glass, it's nearly even, 42.7 rebounds for LA versus 42.9 for Phoenix, a battle of positioning more than power. Zubac anchors the Clippers with 9.7 boards per game, while Mark Williams holds the interior for Phoenix, hauling in 10.0 rebounds nightly. The defensive battle between these two bigs, Zubac's positioning versus Williams' length, could quietly decide the possession margin. Both teams also bring their own defensive identity. LA's 10.3 steals per game highlight their perimeter pressure, led by Leonard's 2.5 steals average, while Phoenix counters with a more collective approach, 9.8 steals and 5.3 blocks per contest. The Clippers' edge comes from experience and communication. The Suns' strength lies in anticipation and length. The game's defining tension will be whether Phoenix's gamble-heavy defense can disrupt LA's measured half-court rhythm, or if it instead opens lanes for Harden and Leonard to exploit. Momentum favors neither side, but urgency favors both. The Clippers' recent stretch has tested their resilience. Losses to Oklahoma City, 126-107, and Miami, 120-119, exposed defensive lapses late in quarters, especially in transition. Yet before that, a high-octane 126-124 win over New Orleans showed what this offense looks like when fully locked in. Ball movement sharp, shooting rhythm balanced, and defensive rotations crisp. Even their loss to Golden State, 98-79, had flashes of cohesion, particularly from their bench unit. Phoenix's recent rhythm has been more chaotic. Their 130-118 win over San Antonio was arguably their best performance of the season. Fluid offense, confident shooting, and 30-plus assists. But they followed it by falling to Golden State, 118-107, and barely escaping a pair of heartbreakers against Utah and Memphis. Their offense has produced, but their defensive fragility late in games, especially against guards, has turned winnable nights into missed chances. Both teams enter wounded yet dangerous. LA is missing no major pieces beyond a few game-time decisions, Beal, Leonard, Sanders, Miller all GTD, while Phoenix has Jalen Green and Dillon Brooks listed as questionable. If Brooks suits up, his impact could be decisive. His two-way energy has been vital, especially when matched against elite perimeter wings like Leonard. Green's scoring spark would also stretch LA's second-unit defense. The uncertainty around these names adds another layer of intrigue, as both coaches may have to alter their rotations on the fly. Brooks's defensive edge and emotional intensity often set the tone for Phoenix's engagement level, while Green's ability to generate instant offense helps the Suns avoid scoring droughts when their primary options stall. For LA, even minor absences could disrupt their tight defensive chemistry and half-court spacing, especially if Leonard's minutes are limited. Depth will matter here. The Clippers' bench, anchored by savvy veterans, has shown the ability to maintain leads through smart ball movement and defensive switching. If Phoenix's questionable players can't go, the Suns will have to rely heavily on role players like O'Neal and Allen to carry the secondary load. That's a tall task against a Clippers team built on discipline, execution, and experience in navigating shorthanded situations. At the heart of this matchup, it's Kawhi Leonard versus Devin Booker, and this is the duel that will define tempo, tone, and toughness. Leonard's numbers are as steady as his demeanor: 24.3 points, 5.7 rebounds, 2.5 steals, and elite efficiency from every level: 50.5% FG, 56.7% from deep, and 96.3% at the line. His shot chart this season is a masterclass in control. Few wasted attempts, maximum return. He's not just LA's scorer, he's their stabilizer, setting the rhythm on both ends. Leonard's calm execution under pressure has become the Clippers' identity, the reason they rarely get rattled even when momentum shifts. His defensive reads on switches and rotations often dictate how opponents structure their late clock possessions. Booker, on the other hand, thrives in volatility. He's a rhythm scorer who feeds off pace and chaos, using hesitation moves and screens to manipulate space. The question is whether Leonard's composure can neutralize Booker's explosiveness. If Kawhi forces him into mid-range contested jumpers instead of downhill drives, LA's defense gains the upper hand. But if Booker catches fire early and forces help, the Suns' ball movement could unlock those weak-side looks that fuel their offense. It's a duel of precision versus flair, and whichever star bends the other's rhythm first will likely set the tone for the night's outcome. Booker, meanwhile, has carried the Suns with breathtaking output: 31.0 points, 7.0 assists, and 3.9 rebounds per game, shooting 51.6% from the field, 43.1% from three, and 87.5% at the line. His offensive gravity transforms Phoenix's spacing, forcing help and freeing shooters like Grayson Allen, 40% 3P, and Royce O'Neal, 47% 3P. When Booker's playmaking blends with his scoring, Phoenix's offense hums like a machine. But when he presses, turnovers rise, and transition defense collapses. What makes Booker so dangerous isn't just his efficiency, it's his unpredictability. He can shift from facilitator to assassin within a single possession, reading defensive rotations in real time and punishing hesitation. His mid-range craft is elite, but it's the pace control, knowing when to attack, when to pull back, that separates him from volume scorers. Still, Phoenix's success depends on his restraint as much as his brilliance. If he forces contested looks or over-dribbles against pressure, the Suns' rhythm stalls and their floor spacing evaporates. The balance between freedom and focus will determine whether Booker elevates his team or exhausts it. Stylistically, it's a battle of method versus motion. Leonard's pace, deliberate, rhythmic, contrasts sharply with Booker's urgency and improvisation. Leonard controls games by subtraction, removing mistakes, limiting possessions, forcing defenses to react. Booker creates chaos, pull-up jumpers in transition, explosive drives, and gravity that tilts entire defensive alignments. The winner of this individual clash won't just put up points. He'll dictate how the other team plays. Leonard thrives when the game slows to his tempo, where every possession feels calculated and measured, a masterclass in control and patience. Booker, on the other hand, thrives in acceleration, turning broken plays into highlights and momentum into fuel. Their contrasting styles create a dynamic tension that defines modern basketball: precision versus spontaneity. If Leonard imposes his will early, the Clippers will dictate structure and flow. But if Booker's rhythm takes over, Phoenix's offense becomes unpredictable and free-flowing, forcing LA to abandon its preferred pacing just to keep up. Supporting stars deepen the intrigue. James Harden has embraced orchestration, averaging 21.4 points and 8.6 assists, while managing possessions like a conductor. His pick-and-roll synergy with Zubac is improving, particularly against switching defenses. On the Phoenix side, Mark Williams has quietly become the backbone of their interior: 12.6 points, 10 rebounds, and a 70% FG clip, while Dillon Brooks brings toughness, averaging 19.7 points with a defensive edge that can swing momentum when he's locked in. Harden's renewed efficiency, especially in reading coverages and hitting shooters in rhythm, has elevated LA's offensive balance. He's not just scoring but dictating pace, forcing defenses to collapse and recover repeatedly. Meanwhile, Williams' footwork and positioning have given Phoenix a reliable interior anchor, often covering for perimeter breakdowns. Brooks's competitive fire fuels the Suns' defensive identity. He hounds primary scorers, absorbs contact, and sets a physical tone that ripples through the lineup. This clash of complementary stars, Harden's cerebral control versus Brooks's raw intensity, adds a layer of strategic tension that could define the game's emotional tempo. The tactical blueprint for this game reads like a chessboard. LA's success hinges on controlling the half court. Their 25 assists to 10.9 turnovers per game mark shows disciplined playmaking. They thrive on spacing, Harden orchestrating from the top, Leonard isolating from mid-range, and shooters like Bogdanović and Lopez stretching the floor. Expect them to target mismatches through switch hunting, particularly pulling Williams out of the paint to open driving lanes. The Clippers' offensive rhythm depends on precision timing and unselfish reads, quick passes, decisive cuts, and floor balance that punishes defensive lapses. When Harden manipulates help defenders, Leonard's mid-post touches become nearly automatic scoring chances. Meanwhile, Lopez's ability to draw opposing bigs beyond the arc creates ripple effects, allowing Zubac and Collins to feast on weak-side rebounding opportunities. Against a Suns team that prefers to collapse and rotate aggressively, LA's patience and ball reversals could expose gaps along the perimeter, forcing Phoenix into uncomfortable help decisions late in the shot clock. Defensively, the Clippers excel in lateral containment and hand activity, leading to 10.3 steals per game. Leonard's defensive anticipation, combined with Harden's improved rotation timing, allows LA to pressure without overextending. However, they must tighten transition coverage, a weak point in their last two losses, against a Suns team that thrives on pace. Phoenix loves to push off misses, often sending Booker or Beal up court before the defense sets, creating easy secondary looks. LA's ability to communicate and recover in transition will be critical, especially when lineups feature slower-footed bigs. Expect Ty Lue to mix in hybrid zone principles and early traps to disrupt rhythm, forcing Phoenix to operate more in the half-court. If the Clippers can dictate where the Suns initiate their offense, keeping them outside the elbows and limiting drive and kick flow, they'll turn defense into their best offense, sparking transition chances of their own. Phoenix's strategy is the inverse: speed and pressure. They want to turn this into a 120-point sprint. Their 27.6 assists per game show how often they rely on quick actions and weak side reads. When they get defensive stops, they push the ball instantly. Booker as the engine, O'Neal as the connector, Brooks and Allen as the finishers. Their perimeter spacing opens driving seams, but when those threes stop falling, the Suns' offense can stall fast. That's the risk of a system built on rhythm and tempo. When pace is disrupted, so is confidence. To stay effective, Phoenix must sustain that early push without compromising shot selection, particularly against LA's structured transition defense. They thrive when movement and timing sync, but any hesitation turns their attack into predictable sets that elite defenses can smother. Expect them to lean heavily on secondary playmakers to maintain flow when Booker draws doubles, keeping the ball moving until a clean look appears. If the Suns can stay disciplined within their chaos, attacking early, finishing efficiently, and protecting possessions, they can force LA into uncomfortable high-possession sequences where control becomes harder to maintain. Rebounding and turnovers will define control. The Clippers' interior is bigger, stronger, and more organized. Zubac and Collins combining for nearly 16 boards per game. But the Suns' wings crash aggressively. The first 4 minutes after every quarter break could decide rhythm. Whoever wins those sequences will likely own the pace. Second chance points and live ball turnovers will dictate momentum more than shooting percentage. If the Clippers can dominate the glass and limit giveaways, they'll force Phoenix into longer possessions and fewer transition looks. But if the Suns turn rebounds into quick outlets and force Harden or Leonard into traffic-heavy turnovers, their tempo advantage could flip the game's energy. It's less about effort here and more about discipline, controlling space, boxing out smartly, and valuing every possession when the pressure peaks. Bench play looms large, too. LA's veteran depth, Lopez, Bogdanovich, Dunn, offers lineup flexibility, while Phoenix's bench relies on streaky shooters and energy defenders like Gillespie and Oso Ighodaro. Expect the Clippers to go 9 deep, balancing rest for Leonard and Harden, while the Suns might lean heavier on their starters if this stays tight. That difference in rotation strategy could quietly define the game's rhythm, especially in the third quarter, when fatigue and momentum swings often hit hardest. LA's experienced reserves know how to manage tempo and protect leads, while Phoenix's bench must deliver quick impact minutes to prevent runs. If the Suns' second unit can't generate offense or maintain defensive discipline, it could shift control firmly toward the Clippers down the stretch. This game may also serve as an early referendum on coaching adaptability. For the Clippers, it's about balance. Can they adjust defensive schemes mid-game to handle Booker's movement without overhelping? For the Suns, it's about structure. Can they maintain spacing and ball control under pressure without lapsing into isolation? Both teams have shown flashes of excellence, but neither has sustained it through 4 quarters consistently. That's where the chess match between Tyronn Lue and Frank Vogel becomes pivotal. Each possession will be a test of who reacts faster, Lue's defensive counters or Vogel's offensive recalibrations. Substitution patterns, timeout timing, and how each coach manages fatigue could quietly swing momentum. Expect both benches to play a larger role than usual, especially if the stars get bottled up by traps or switches. Ultimately, this isn't just a battle of talent. It's a contest of adjustments, trust, and the willingness to deviate from the original game plan when the flow demands it. In matchups like this, the team that adapts quicker often ends up dictating the outcome. The numbers hint at LA's edge in composure. Their free throw rate, shooting efficiency, and lower turnover percentage all point to a team more comfortable grinding out possessions. Phoenix's higher scoring output masks their defensive inconsistency, especially in the half court, where opponents have carved them up through pick-and-roll execution. The Suns' 5.3 blocks per game are impressive, but they often come as recovery plays rather than structured deterrence. Against a team as patient as LA, that reactive style may prove costly. What's more, the Clippers' ability to control tempo and dictate pace means Phoenix won't get the transition looks they thrive on. When forced into half-court sets, the Suns' rhythm tends to stall, exposing gaps in shot creation once the initial action breaks down. LA's veteran core, particularly in late-game scenarios, knows how to exploit those moments with precision, turning minor mismatches into major scoring opportunities. If the Clippers can continue dictating the tone through efficient possessions and disciplined defensive rotations, their poise could be the deciding factor in a matchup that demands both toughness and timing. If this game turns into a track meet, Phoenix thrives. If it becomes a methodical battle of possessions, LA suffocates them. It's that simple. After analyzing both teams, my pick for this match is Phoenix Suns winner. By night's end, expect rhythm and poise to tell the story. The Clippers, though on the road, bring the steadier hand, the cleaner execution, and the proven closers. Leonard will anchor their late-game possessions, Harden will manage tempo, and Zubac will clean the glass. Phoenix will make runs, Booker's shooting alone guarantees that. But their defensive volatility, especially when forced to rotate out of mismatches, will eventually catch up. What separates these teams isn't just talent, but trust in structure. Los Angeles has embraced a system built on patience and accountability, knowing when to attack and when to reset. The Suns, in contrast, still rely too often on isolation brilliance, a formula that shines in spurts but falters under sustained pressure. If the Clippers maintain composure through Phoenix's scoring waves, their experience and balance should allow them to seize control when it matters most. Leonard delivers another masterclass in two-way dominance, Harden controls the clock, and the Clippers finally reclaim control of their season. For Phoenix, it's another reminder that offense alone can't cover every crack. For LA, it's validation that when discipline meets talent, even the toughest road environments can be silenced. The chemistry that once felt uncertain now breathes with purpose, rotations crisp, defensive switches seamless, and every possession played with veteran poise. What was once frustration has turned into focus, and the result is a team rediscovering its identity at the perfect time. Underneath the numbers, this one's about control, and on this night, control belongs to Los Angeles. Total pick for this match is 220 over.